Okay guys, today we're going to talk about one of the very useful plugins for the language we want to use to bring up a multilingual website. I mentioned that to have a multilingual website, there are two well-known plugins available. One is WPML and the other is Polylang. Polylang is offered for free, while WPML is a paid option that needs to be purchased. We are going to work with Polylang as it meets all our needs and allows us to easily make our site multilingual. To install it, we go to the WordPress admin panel, navigate to the plugin section, and search for the Polylang plugin. It will appear for us and we can install Polylang. Guys, if you have an Elementor site, to support your Elementor with Polylang, you need to install this plugin, connect Polylang for Elementor or not. So we install this, activate it, and then install Polylang. When Polylang is installed, it goes to the wizard section, which asks us for some data to proceed. Now in the language section, it has a setting for me. Well, here it asks me for a license, which is needed in the language section. In the language section, guys, I can select the languages I have in mind. I want to set up a Persian website and an Iranian website, so I'm looking for Persian. Persian is available for both Afghanistan and Iran. We will definitely choose Iran. It asks us what the full name would be, for example, the existing local, Persian, or the existing locale. Persian has its own language, which usually, guys, don't touch it, let it remain as the default. It asks, sir, what is your text direction? Or direction from right to left or left to right, which is definitely for P. I add this as the first language, meaning it becomes my master language. When I installed Polylang, I want to set the language again. I search for English in this. Now for every country I had in mind, I say to set it for the USA. This is exactly the same way. Now I can choose the flags. It has brought up the Australian flag because I think I didn't choose England, I chose Australia. This is also from England. And it adds the English flag for me, and I add the English language. So now, guys, I have a website with two languages, both Persian and English. Therefore, the content I plan to produce must be in two languages. If I now go to the post section, it brings up my posts, but you see no language has been selected for them in this section. This was the content we created together, right? This is the content we made, but it hasn't been specified for which language. You click on edit, guys, and from this section, for any content we want to produce, we must select its language. The tool that I have here, yes, now I want to select the language and set it to Persian. This content has been automatically selected. It says, sir, I have identified this as Persian. I will update this. Now, simultaneously, when we have a page or a document, it definitely should also have an English page so that when the user wants to switch, they can see it on the other side. I can either go to the post section and create a new page, or I can click on English here. And it will write a new page for me, meaning it creates one where I can place the English version that I have in mind. Here I want a lorem. I want to put a lorem ipsum in English to see if it allows me. Let's write in English. It brought me a foreign lorem ipsum, not the Iranian one. It probably gives me foreign content as well. Yes, it says to consider my language. Now I choose Latin, generate it, and copy it for. I wrote it, and here I will copy a title from it. Now the rest of the settings that are needed will be done. My WordPress panel doesn't change. because the main language of my WordPress panel is Persian, but I put the content in English, and you see my language is considered English. It found my Persian writing is, so if I add this, it brings it up for me, and I can display it, okay? If you see this at the top, it added one for me. It says, "Sir, now this is English. This content is the English version of that page." And I can also open the Persian content of the same page for you. So whatever writing I have, I can choose what language that writing should be in. And also, guys, keep in mind that if you want to purchase a template that is multilingual for your website, it definitely needs to be compatible with this plugin so that both your header and footer can be in Persian and English. Now, this is the Persian text, and this is the English text. The first step is defining the language itself. And there's a settings section, guys, and the first step is to go through the tools it provides. It tells you, for example, that you can edit the address or URL. It has settings that let you decide how your display should look, whether to add the language abbreviation for you or not, or, for example, to hide your main language in some of these changes. Another option it offers is to select the language based on the browser language, for example. It can choose based on the browser language or based on the IP. There's also a discussion about media, meaning if you upload an image for Persian, it won't allow you to upload it for English, which I think isn't logical, unless your images have text on them. Here you can define the language for your media. Brother, I have a separate account for my Persian language and a separate account for my English language. I deactivate these. It has a custom settings and taxonomy, guys. We have a custom post type in WordPress and a taxonomy. Custom post types can be what? They can be posts, pages, products, those where we create content. And a taxonomy, which can be our categories or tags. It says, I have settings for you, where you can add any taxonomy you have in mind. I have officially created the product in several languages now. By default, it does not include my second or first language. It only works in a single language, while even the language option has not been added for it. To make my products multilingual, I choose both in the custom post type, which becomes products, and the taxonomy. It says you can also separate them by category, tag, and even the shipping method. I say, sir, bring these two items into my languages, and if I refresh now, it adds the language for me. You see, here, for me, the Persian is this, the English is this. Sometimes when you see your panel gets messed up or becomes very compact, it's because it doesn't have enough space to display. At the top of each page, there is a screen option setting where I can choose not to display some of the items I don't want, for example. Don't display the resource warehouse. Don't display the tags either. And don't display the items that are not needed, but do display the Persian and English. When I save this, my panel becomes a bit lighter, and I can work with it more easily. Now, the next settings are related to syncing, where we do some tasks, or I can sync some things for you so that you can choose according to your needs. These are adjustments that we generally need to use in the Pro version, and there's a license key that is not needed because this is the regular version. Guys, there's also a translation section that allows me to define my titles based on your pages, or you can change your site titles at any time, or change your authors. Anything that I might need on the website and isn't available in the final edit can be changed from this section. And guys, the last point that matters for the language is that I had defined a menu in Persian, remember? But now it doesn't display anymore. Why is that? The reason is that my menus have now become multilingual, meaning it tells me that you have one menu for Persian and one menu for English, you see? We say, show this in the Persian header and this in the English header, and we need to see the template to adjust it. We need to know the Elementor template so that we can display it. The theme display is centered on Elementor, but why isn't it reading our menus? It might be because we needed to save them. Yes, exactly. Now it has brought my menus for Persian. Now I can define my switcher here. meaning it has brought the language switcher itself, and I can add this. It gives me 3 settings, I say, sir. Display it as a drop-down, show the flag for me as well. If my language is currently active, either show my language or not, and even perform the transition for me, or not, depending on my own needs. Now, if I refresh this, my menus are there, and it has brought the language switcher for me, meaning I can switch from here to English. Now, since I don't have any content at the moment, it absolutely, and certainly won't bring anything for me, without a doubt. Also, I can create a new English menu. Here, write main menu in the English language. Sensei, sir, kindly place it in the English header for me if you could, please. Now I showcase all of the menus that I need, such as home and about pages. Then what follows is linking them all together seamlessly. For example, home page links to about page effortlessly. Additionally, once again, I set my language switcher specifically for English. Furthermore, sir, let it be a drop-down menu format with an option to show my own flag prominently displayed, since it's also considered my main language. Now, if I save this, in the English menu, it will show both my menu and the language switcher, allowing me to switch between Persian and English. So with this setup and this simplicity, we can have a multilingual website.